Hello, friends. It's Rob here. We're heading into the final stretch of Act 3. Just one more set of a couple few eps in the real world here. And then it's pretty much all Dreamlands all the time, right up to the bitter end, as the party attempts their return to the Mad Poet's Oasis. Will they make it? Will they all survive? It'll all come out over the course of this summer. But first, we have some leveling up to attend to, along with a little State of the Union as we check in with our characters and a certain great old one entangled in their brains. Thank you, as always, to our supporters on Patreon, including Ross and Alex. Thanks for hopping on board. Please consider joining them and helping us to keep the lights on and keep the great artwork coming from Matt. $5 or $10 a month makes a huge difference for us. And a reminder that you can also support us and Matt by checking out our merch store. Links to the merch store and our Patreon page are at the website, darknexuspodcast.com, along with our ever-expanding wiki. Thank you so much for listening and joining us on this adventure. Welcome back to Dark Nexus. Tonight, it's Act 3, Chapter 139. The old year is gone, all gone. There is a touch of sadness in this, ill-befitting what should be a festival day, yet still, hope smiles faintly from the threshold of the year to come, whispering, it may be happier. So sing a song to the new year, my friends. Sing the old song, famous among the merry wanderers of the Venduran forest. To sleep, the long bright day is done, and darkness rises from the fallen sun. Sleep, mournful heart, let the past be the past. Sleep, heavy soul, all life will sleep at last. Happy New Year, y'all. It is 4719. It's day 52 on the boat. Starting off at mile 597, we have traveled very far. And we've got a lot to catch up on. For our listeners, you should know that the episodes you just experienced over the course of the past month or so were all recorded by us in like the last week or so. It was a lot. The Night of the Pale, the whole Doom of Sarnath, and the big final interlude of Act 3. We've been in go, go, go mode and haven't had a chance to check in on all the stuff that's come up. And I want to take a little time to do that today. I'll drop in a few questions here and there, and if any of them are things you all would prefer to discuss in character, feel free to save it for that. But if you or your character have thoughts on some of my questions that they wouldn't share aloud, let's touch in on them here as we discuss our newly 9th level characters. Woohoo! Who wants to kick us off?
I'll go.
Gripper!
Nothing outlandish for Grip.
Level of Bard, I assume.
He did. He took a level of Bard, but whatever the most obscure
some random
class
archetype
is. No, he took another skill point in Sailor. He put a skill point in Intimidate. His use of Intimidate to demoralize someone in combat reminded him of his roots a little bit. So he took that and then some Perception. Here's the thing. I'm just going to chime in with. As I've been painting miniatures, I've been giving a re-listen to our show, and I'm just listened to the first time we leveled. Up to level 2.
Yeah.
And that was the first time you posited the question, when we level, are we remembering or are we learning new things? And you kind of singled Grip out as the example of, well, here's someone that I think probably is remembering things. And I just found that very interesting as the progression has... I think it was that for a long time, and I think lately it's been more
entirely new stuff.
What his current experience is. So I thought that was an interesting timing.
Yeah.
I worried over the feat for a little bit, but I finally landed on Iron Will. I don't get that many opportunities to take a non-combat feat, and while there's a lot of things that could give me another point of damage here or there, this +2 on a will save could literally save my life and all of your lives as well.
Yeah.
So we went with that.
A good time to shore that up.
Yep. But I think that's nothing else really.
Oh, you got your Brawler's Strike.
Oh, right. The Brawler's Strike now strikes as cold iron and silver.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's pretty sweet.
And your AC.
Oh, and my AC went up by 1.
How?
What is it now?
Brawler?
Just as a Brawler.
That's a brawler thing. My AC is now 27.
Damn.
Wow.
Before buffing.
That's before any buffs.
We have the same proportion of AC and hit points.
What else?
Yeah, basically, as long as Grip is wearing light armor, he gets just a flat bonus to his armor, a dodge bonus to his armor class, so it stacks with everything.
Wow.
So it goes, and it adds into his touch, and
Great.
it's really cool.
that was his dealio. His waking world hit points are now at 97.
Wow. Wow.
And in the dream,
And when we're in the dream and he's got the belt, he's at 106.
Yeah.
there we go.
So
There we go.
not
Tank.
10th level and almost 100 hit.
106 is double me. It's double. We've hit it.
We're there.
You have twice as many hit points as I do in the
18 Constitution, babies.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice. It's nice. Like, even when you roll low, it's just like you still get a whole bunch of hit points.
Yeah.
So he was made a member of the crew
Yeah.
right before this last. Did you see that coming?
No.
No? It was a surprise to you?
It was a surprise to me, and it got to me just a little bit.
Oh,
you
good, good.
bastard. No, I was not prepared for that. That was great.
And I was my little short list for Grip was about that, and also just about how he's feeling about what went down in Sarnath, and if he has thoughts about that he's churning on inside the noggin, or if he has thoughts about that he wants to talk to the others about. But it's, it was a rare one where that last episode you were basically hanging out you were playing the Dora in the rear kind of position.
Except without any combat advice
Yeah.
to give anyone. No, I don't know that he's talking about it, but I know Robert definitely felt I was more worried about losing the character.
Yeah.
Than maybe I should have been. I don't know, but I think that's where he was then too, right?
Yeah.
He was told Dora gave pretty explicit instructions, and hearing what was out there described to him, he would without hesitation always put his hit points in between anyone in the party and any threat. But if there is just the great likelihood that he will be ineffective and become
Maybe a liability.
a liability, right? I think that really held him back. And me back. It held me back from playing him as I maybe normally would. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't feel great. He does not feel great coming off of that encounter.
But how about Vic?
Oh man, this is a fun level for Vic. Got a few new extracts. Got 3rd level Fly, which is always awesome. And then I finally, as my favorite class bonus, took Alchemical Allocation, which...
Tell us about that.
God.
All right,
What
I'm
does
gonna
that do?
It's so
Brilliant.
This extract causes a pale aura to emanate from your mouth. If you consume a potion or elixir on the round following the consumption of this extract, you can spit it back into its container as a free action. You gain all the benefits of the potion or elixir, but it is not consumed. You can continue to drink and re-drink the same...
Like a little potion pearl of power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It really
Yeah.
is. And
So-
at the cost of just a spell slot.
So,
good.
That's really cool.
the idea would be to then sort of, as we go along, pick up a whole bunch of different potions and
Yeah.
elixirs so that I have them and can reuse them as needed.
Nice.
Let's see what else. I know this is going to make you very excited, Katie.
Oh, I love when people say that.
So I think you will.
I love being excited.
So I got a new feat this level, and the feat that I took is not the one that you wanted me to take. I did not take Precise Shot. Instead, I took Rapid Shot, because how could I not
I'm
have
not
the ability
excited. I want you to fucking take Precise Shot.
I know,
Just
but
take it. Oh
but
my
literally-
god, it's -4. Like,
I know.
It's so much.
I know, but +1 attack is so huge.
At -4 when you're
Yes.
firing into melee.
Hey, minus
minus
6 with the
minus
rapid
six.
shot.
Yeah.
-6 with Rapid Shot.
So, Johnny, we got this information on the Night of the Pale from Dora about the tight bond between your past self and Reynard, that despite all the completely psychotic behavior we've been known him to demonstrate back then that that this deep abiding care for animals seems to have been a constant in both of his lives, then and now. And I know Vic has really been wrestling with the legacy of his former self, like what he left behind him and how he affected the world. And I wonder how that detail hit him.
I think it makes him happy to have something that there was some humanity in this character that he was, that there was some love and empathy, even if it wasn't for other sentient creatures, that for animals, like, he had love and affection. Maybe that was the only place that he felt like that it was safe to have love and affection, based on how horribly abused and traumatized he had been.
Yeah.
Systematically abused and traumatized.
Yeah, we started to learn a little bit more about that system last time.
Yeah.
This has been going on a long time.
Yeah. Generations.
Generational trauma.
Oh, two other things that I just wanted to throw out. My hit points now are at 61.
Yeah.
Which, considering that I have a con score of 10,
It's great.
I am very lucky. And then I got a whole bunch of skill points, and foolishly, I dumped a whole bunch into sleight of hand because I just wanted to. There were all things I could have put them in, but I wanted to be really good at sleight of hand.
Well, you spent much of that level stealing things.
It's true, even though it was in the Dreamlands.
Yeah.
All right, that's my piece.
Awesome. What about Dabs?
Dabwick's got an exciting level this level. I'll just start with hit points, since that's what everyone's burying their leads on, Dabwick's at 60 hit points.
Yay!
So doing also
okay, that's a
doing pretty
reasonable
well.
number of hit points. That's only a handful more than I have.
With your belt of con.
Yes.
Dabwick has access to 5th level spells.
Fantastic.
That's so great. It's the greatest thing.
It's so great. Now, the domain spell is Wall of Stone, because Dabwick's domain is foundational protections. But 5th level spells include things like Fire Snake, Commune with Nature, and Summon Nature's Ally 5, which includes crazy things like large elementals and cyclops and dinosaurs and gorillas.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's some fun summoning coming. But we'll get back to summoning in just a minute.
I mean, Wall of Stone alone is huge.
Urban Druid at this level, at 9th level, instead of venom immunity, gains something called mental strength, where they're immune to charm and compulsion effects.
Are you shitting me?
Which is huge for us.
That
at
includes
this level.
confusion. Confusion is tagged with the compulsion.
Oh, that's so
Okay, so-
good.
That's
Immune.
amazing.
Yeah.
Then finally, as a feat, Dabwick took Augment Summoning, which adds a +4 to Strength and a +4 to Con to everything that they summon.
Nice.
So maybe, that little gang of small mud elementals could actually start doing something.
Buddy buddies.
Or your dinosaur.
Or my dinosaur.
Really huge.
Right.
That's
So
great.
yeah, super level.
That's awesome.
A couple of fairly huge things came up for Dabs on the Night of the Pale that, again, we have not had opportunity to check in on. Those reveals about their parents
Yeah.
and this letter from J-Dove. And I'm real curious about how both Dabwick and Polly are processing those pieces of information. Obviously, Polly knew the parents' names because Polly wrote the story, the original story about the parents. But then, Paul sort of turned that over to me. Do what you want with the fact that this happened. So none of that, you didn't know any of that was coming. So,
Right.
So where is Dabs with all that information?
So where is Magnamar?
Way on the western edge of the continent. It is in Varizia. It's like a city-state in Varizia. It's clear of all of the areas that are either Cheliax-controlled or formerly Cheliax-controlled. So it's clear of any areas where slavery is rampant.
Well, so to hear this news that Dabwick receives, they have a mother who is alive. I think the confusion and frustration with J-Dove to withhold this information and then deliver it in this way is really pushing Dabwick's anger.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a desire to check with Skywin and see what they know about any of this. and to get some support on confronting J-Dove when we get to Casimir
Right.
for more information.
She did say on the night she knew nothing about, because you read the letter out loud, and she was
Right.
like, I didn't know, Dabs, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, to check in with her about, like, will you stand beside me when I confront her, or are you going to take her side on this?
Right,
Or,
because I need to know more, and for her to withhold so much for so long,
yeah,
is really concerning.
yeah, yep, absolutely. And then Dora.
My friends, what a level this is for Dora. It's unfortunate she begins it with a greater madness. I'm just going to jump right to it. Dora gets 7 new spells this level.
Wow.
Because I took Expanded Arcana as the feat, and instead of taking 1 new 4th level spell for that, I can take 2 of any level lower, so I took 2 additional 3rd level spells.
So huge.
So, I think I'm going to save my new 2nd level spell.
Yeah.
Because that's a really cool one, and it'll be great in the moment to have.
And we've never had it.
We've never
played
had
with
it before, but it's very clear Anathema's influence on her spell selection for other things. So one of the spells she took was Mind Thrust 4, which, big surprise, but that means she can swap out Mind Thrust 3 for a different spell since she can undercast Mind Thrust. So 4 new 3rd level spells.
Wow.
Dispel Magic,
Yes.
Yeah.
Fly,
Yes.
Yes.
Haste,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
and then new to us until the interlude, Invisibility Sphere,
Ooh.
which I have in another character in another campaign has it, and it was just like I guess I'll take this one, and it's been the most invaluable addition to the party that we could possibly have. I can't think
Yes.
of a better spell for that party, but I think it's also going to be really good for this one.
Being
too.
able to turn the entire party invisible with a single spell.
The single spell to be able to move into a position before you begin a fight.
Yeah.
So that's 4. I'm not going to tell you the second one. And then Mind Thrust 4 is 5. So the last one is I get this as a psychic at 9th level as a once per day thing, the same way I got Detect Thoughts, and then can also use Detect Thoughts as any level spell. This one is like that in that I get Telepathic Bond, which is a 10 minutes per level spell where we can just all talk to each other mentally.
Wow. That's
And
huge.
so I get that once a day for free, but then also I get it as a 4th level spell that I can use slots for.
Oh my gosh.
So I could cast it 6 times a day.
And I think, is it also one of the ones finally where no language is required? No
Yes.
shared language? Yeah.
Yes.
So it is actually a legit, like, telepathy.
Oh, so all of a sudden, like any communication issues that we have, you could then cast that and communicate with
Yep.
groups of people.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge.
Each creature included in the link is linked to all the others.
How many?
Creatures can communicate telepathically through the bond. It is you plus 1 willing creature per 3 levels, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. So
So a total
That's
of 4
us.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time
At the
of
moment.
casting or
Yeah.
at the time
all.
of casting.
Okay.
Same as haste. This is a good mechanic to keep in mind at the beginning of combat.
Yeah.
Is that no 2 of us should ever be more than 30 feet apart. The creatures can communicate telepathically through the bond regardless of language.
Yeah.
No special power or influence is established as a result of the bond, so I can't, make you all do my bidding. Once the bond is formed, it works over any distance, but not across planes.
Right, I forgot that piece too. So, like, say, tracking back to Arventon, if she'd been able to cast this, she cast a message on Vic before Vic tried to sneak down into the valley and go through the
Yeah.
statues, and then after 180 feet, it just it ran out,
out.
but would never piddle out.
Or like the Gugs. The Gugs that
when
heard.
when you went around the corner and you could have all just been talking telepathically.
They would not have heard me whisper back.
Yep.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right. What else did I get? Nothing. Hit points. 5 hit points.
That's your
to
total
bring me
is 5?
to 53.
Oh, that's good.
Still have an ability for being an Azamar that we've never seen in play.
so
I
wild.
can't wait for this to come out, even though it means me taking damage. I think that's it for me. Obviously I have other stuff going on.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. So we learned it was Anathema's birthday yesterday. And then we learned this information about Anathema from Weirlai's journal, which, you know, we still will figure out exactly when this happens and the timing of the day for your characters, but the players now have it. I'm not sure what was confirmation for you of things you suspected or how much was new to you. And, you know, also related to that promise that Dora made to herself after she read the silver dust vial about like really resolving to get to the bottom of their respective pasts and figure out how they got into this mess together. I'm wondering, like,
Well, we've had a major complication with that come up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called A Greater Madness. Personally, Katie never suspected the Baron was Anathema's father.
Uh-huh.
So that was huge. But yes, so at that time, after reading that, Dora began to think of Anathema more as a whole human being and not just a voice in her head, and was determined to figure it out and come to some resolution about it. But I think the nature of this greater madness, so we talked a little bit about offline about how when you get a greater madness, it supersedes a lesser one, right?
By the rules that we're using.
That's what we're doing. And so Dora was dormant in her lesser delusion of who she was. That when she went to Igu's Kai's and we all had these memories of where we'd come from, that Dora had really believed that was who she was before all this started, and that there had been she had been kidnapped and taken and turned into this, you know, used as a ruse by Anathema and Gulliver and all those people, you know, like she had this whole thing worked out how that was really who she was. So with the with the vision of Bokrug obliterating all of that from her mind, she now believes that she is nothing but a madness of anathemas. That Anathema is the one who retrieved the green idol statue the last time they went to Sarnath and saw Bokrug, and her madness is what Dora grew out of.
Yeah, your entire life experience as Dora is Tima's madness from that previous life, as we are currently thinking of it. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Which, you know, as Katie, I'm like, we don't even know that they did this quest.
Right.
But whatever. I mean, but that's what Dora
she thinks.
Believes now.
Yeah.
And she looks back on the delusion that she had of her former life and sees what folly and vanity it was to imagine herself as this important person who made a difference in people's lives, because she is nothing. She is a figment of somebody
else's madness.
And the loss of hearing is her survival attempt to simply keep out the world that is constantly trying to remind her of her own insignificance and nothingness. So, yeah, that's where she's at. That's where she wakes up.
Yeah. With her 54 points of sanity.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be something
really
catastrophic,
big.
right?
It can't be. And
even though the crunch was about as small as the greater madness could be.
Yeah,
right.
And even frankly less so because of the telepathic bond that I just got at 9th level.
Yes,
but like. It has to make a lesser madness look insignificant.
Yeah. For the whole group, a lot of stuff came up at the Night of the Pale. Was there anything that we haven't discussed that you want to revisit or ask about or put a pin in? I think the only thing I want to just put a little pin in, because there was a lot that night, was Harlar did bring up this love of his who died, and he said that they're from Bellis, which Dab would know is a town south of you on the river that you have yet to get to yet. So this place where Harlar lost this love of his life is somewhere that is in your future, just to know that. I wanted to touch back in real quick on that scene with Bates and Ray's ghost in the middle of what was, you know, largely a check-in on those kids that I just miss and love. I did ask Paul to help me get a kernel of information out to you all, and that is that even in death, even after the madness of confusion that Ray felt right after he died, even now as he's like settled into his particular purgatory existence, he still does not have his memories back. That whatever this sacrifice was at the Mad Poets, the effect of it is persisting into the afterlife. Like at some point 1,000 years ago, back in like 2020, one of you had, I think, idly mused, I don't even remember if it got on air or not, that maybe one of the ways to get your memories back would be to die. But it seems like even that won't work. And I just wanted to make sure that that was something that all of you were clocking as players. Obviously, your characters didn't see the scene with Ray, but that whatever this is, it is more powerful than death.
Death is not the answer.
And death is not the end. From those scenes I had you read at the end of The Night of the Pale, whose point of view were each of you reading from?
I think I was reading from Anathema's mother's point of view.
Okay.
So it's the Conqueror's grandson.
Yes.
I mean, is it Grip's father or uncle?
No, one generation down, probably.
So of Grip's generation.
Yeah.
So an older brother then.
Or a cousin.
Or a cousin, yeah.
Yeah. Polly?
Gulliver Vaticus's mother.
Yeah.
Not nearly as evil as I thought she might be.
So in that case, Ray's grandmother.
Yeah, Ray's grandmother.
And Johnny?
Originally, I had thought that it was an uncle. Zeb Stoicha was an uncle, but now I'm wondering it could also be a cousin, because if Victor was assumed passed away when he was much younger, they could be cousins, and his image of him would always be that he would be a small child. So I'm not sure if it's a cousin or an uncle. 'Cause
Gotcha.
It could be someone who was the same age or around the same age, or it could be someone that was, 10, 15 years older.
Yeah, and I did not give you an age in that
No,
particular vision.
no.
So,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
So it's somebody who has got Vic locked as
as a child.
a child.
Yeah, someone who has him locked as a child and is at least as old as he is.
Yes. And very closely blood related, we know, because of how that's set.
Yeah.
Cool.
But like I said, originally I was like, oh, he's got to be like an uncle or something like that. But then I was like, oh no, wait, it could totally be.
Yeah, there's options. I was pretty shady on giving information that one.
You're a little shady.
A little shady. Just a couple more little reminders. I want to remind you that Gripper picked up that random scalpel lying on the floor of the festival hall in Sarnath. We obviously can't do anything about that or check it out more until we're back in the dream, but I just want to make sure that's on everybody's radar as one of many things we had to go past.
Also, we picked something up in Igus Kai's.
You did read that, so you
I
found
did.
a coin that
Right.
Roni / the Triangle Man had left behind. Deliberately. He had gone into one of the mausoleums in the Plaza of Bones and sat there overnight, looked at this coin, and chose to leave it there. Now, there wasn't some overpowering emotional reason that Dora was able to process for why he did that. It felt a little like, I don't know, like a test. Maybe I want to see what happens, or maybe I'm going to do this for XYZ reason, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is so important to me. It was a thing he did.
It does feel like they're leaving tests, not necessarily for us, because how could they know what would happen when they went to the Mad Poet?
Right.
But for themselves, like, if we come back here, I want to know if we've been here before.
Or how much has changed, or how much time has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's been 3 things now, right?
Well,
A coin from Vic,
Yep.
a tattoo needle from Grip, and a scalpel possibly from Gulliver.
and the vial of silver dust.
But wasn't that in the...
No.
Only because
No,
it crossed over.
You read it in the real world, but it was left in the dream on the Bloodwind.
Right.
And the only way that happened,
Bloodwind crossed over.
the Bloodwind crossed over. Like, this
Yeah.
literally could not happen with any of these objects.
So we haven't found anything from Ray. Or have we found something that we have simply not attributed to Ray?
Well, we don't know whose scalpel this is. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
I had originally was like, oh, it's got to be Vaticus's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's obviously
I
one of.
assumed.
It's obviously right at this point. You could.
Yeah.
I mean, as players, you know, it's somebody.
Was
So
it a joy making brand of scalpel?
it maybe.
Okay.
Great. So I just wanted to put that out there. Let's remember that that's sitting there in the dream as something that we can still investigate.
They did go. They might not have succeeded. It's one of the. That's one of the. Sarnath is one of the ones with just survive. We don't have any notes on
Well,
how
I mean-
it went or whatever, so we don't know if they,
Well, you've got an indication that
we know that
their
they were there.
tackling of this quest lasted many months. I think you could deduce from the random chaos of the notes about this that they probably went multiple times.
Vic thinks that they did not succeed because there was a green stone idol
Right.
that we got.
Right.
And in every other one, they're like we have had to punt and do something else.
Yes.
Like the tricorn is a great example of you got a different hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
He got a new hat.
We got a
Nice to
different-
say,
we
and
got
then
a-
we stole it again.
Yes.
We're like hazing Vadrak.
We got a different signet ring. We got a different
Bullying
skull
him.
of ghoul royalty.
You
And
got
we
the
a
other
different
hardtail.
A different
Yeah.
scale,
Got
right?
a different thing in every other one. This is
Yeah.
the first one
Where we got the actual
where we got
thing.
the actual thing.
So you think they failed at it, which means they did not bring 7 gifts.
Interesting
to the Mad
information.
Poet.
Also, to Vic's point from way back when, bringing gifts that the Mad Poet has already received
Yeah.
might not be the thing.
This idol may be the shit.
The fact that we got one thing that they didn't get
Yeah.
might be the thing.
Yeah.
The end of the second interlude and that snapshot into the long life and history of We're Ally. Like what was new information to you? What was confirmation of things you maybe
Stop
suspected?
humanizing the villains. Just stop it. I don't
it
want complicated.
Did it make you feel a little sorry for We're Ally?
No.
I wouldn't go that far.
No. But
But it put some context on
yes.
it, right?
Not the way that Anathema's story made me feel sorry for Anathema.
Right.
But in the same vein.
I mean, their kids didn't do anything wrong, so the fact that she's going after the kids kind of takes away any sympathy
Right.
that I feel like could be generated.
Might have
for
been
her.
engendered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
using the word humanizing, but she isn't. So
yes, she is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely gets to Johnny the player, because literally your description of our ancestors just torturing her
Yeah.
and abusing her and keeping her alive, only to torture her more, to then keep her alive, to torture her more, to keep her alive, to gain information, is horrifying
Yeah.
and awful. And that definitely, abusing others because you have been abused does not make it right, but it does make it understandable. Now, was she a scumbag before she did that? Yes.
Yes.
Does that mean that?
Yes.
Does that mean that she
Deserved it.
deserved that? No.
No. This is a story. I mean, in the end, this is a story about generational trauma here, and how all of your lives before you even knew your lives were impacted, not just by the people who directly fucked over your lives or about the lives you all directly fucked over, but about a chain of vengeance and revenge and punishment and sort of arbitrary retribution that has been going on for longer than any of you have been alive. It's a great little world here.
It makes our destruction of Wherein in the courtyard of Iris Hill that much more delicious.
Temporary destruction.
Yes.
Yeah, wait till you
yes.
kill her the second time.
Right, right.
All delicious things are temporary anyway.
Yes.
It's true. It's true. So we're almost done with the dream quests, as you know, which means it's time to start thinking about this heading back to the Mad Poet. It's time to start really buckling down and figuring out like why your characters are going there at this point in the story, like what they hope to attain. And if you think you need to make a sacrifice of some sort, what do you think that's going to be? Because we just got one left, and we can put that one off as long as you want to put it off. But we know that after that point,
We know that once we do the final quest, we are on a time
because
frame
of the
because of the magic of
the Heartstone.
Heartstone. We have but 30 days to get to the Mad Poet.
30 days in the Dreamlands.
In the Dreamlands, right.
Yeah.
But also, if we're going to do that, we need to make sure that we have all of the stuff prepared
Yeah.
for this trip from the caravanserai
Yeah.
through the Dreamlands to the edge and past of the dream.
Yes.
Which we don't know how long that's going to take.
We know that it will take weeks.
Weeks. Weeks. But again, what does weeks mean?
What does weeks mean?
When it's a dream telling you it's going to take weeks in this dream? Yeah, it's hard to know.
Well, we do know that we have to
gleeful.
go to the caravanserai And we have to physically leave from the
there.
caravanserai.
Yes.
You do know that.
But also, we don't have the ability to get the stuff that we need from the caravanserai, which is where we normally would
Right.
go and go, okay, we need to get all these supplies
We
and
have to
stuff.
bring
So we
it
have
with
to
us from
bring the
the
supplies
waiting
with us somehow. But we can't bring animals.
That's correct. So, Robert, why don't you open up Barnabas's sheet and give me the linguistics check? We'll see if the Weirelai journal was something that Barnabas read as you were dreaming, or if this has to be something that Dora is going to have to finish off one of these days here.
Natural one, fuck me.
Okay, all right. So Barnabas will have a chance to make another check in a week. And I guess this makes sense because Barnabas is really sinking pretty deeply into the fever, the sweats, and the beginning stages of the confusion of the seed-born consumption.
Oh, God, that's right. It's time to do all the heal checks.
Is this a
again.
save day for him?
This will be Barnabas's save day, which means y'all's save day is everybody
few
except for
days
Dabs
away.
is a few days away. Yep. Let me tell you how much damage, just because it's fun. I mean, I don't think we have to worry about the resources on this particular day, but just so you know, Dora did 26 points of damage to her body. Dabs did 27, Vic did 39, and Grip did 54
Oh.
points of
Hey,
damage.
that's how much sanity damage I had.
Oh my god, it is!
Yay!
It is. And we rolled that. I rolled that completely.
I was just
separately.
trying to figure out if 54 was a multiple of 17, but it's not. Right? It's not.
All right, so what is the plan for this day? We know Dora's going to wake up incredibly mentally disturbed and also unable to hear anybody.
And none of us know that before waking, correct? Did we is that something that we
she was
learned in the
talking
dream?
unnaturally loudly when telling you to wake up, but that's it.
As we get this day going in our imaginations, I think that would be the first discovery you would make, that she is simply unable to hear.
Okay.
She's also wakes up not looking at any of you, at anyone, averting her eyes cast to the floor. She's very physically different in the way she carries herself than she normally is, which is with kind of lighthearted confidence.
Right.
Then Vic would see that she is deaf and that cannot hear, and would write out, "Is it okay if I do a check on your ears and your hearing and stuff?"
She is literally averting her eyes from your message. She doesn't fight you. She's not like pulling away from you. She just doesn't want to look at you,
Okay.
and she can't hear anything you're saying. So
Okay. Well,
do whatever you want.
then Vic
she's
is going to
deep
start
in
to
it.
do a heal check on her
Yeah.
ears and stuff,
Yeah.
thinking that would be
Doing a physical examination, she does not seem to be physically injured or impaired in any way. Her body is receiving audible cues, but she's not processing anything. There is some disconnect between her mind and her body.
And I think Grip notices that something seems broken. Like she
Yeah.
seems that she's come back different, and I think he's feeling guilty. I think he's feeling like if only there was something more he could have done. He doesn't know what to do now, but he does try to give her like a ladle of water
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he just does not know what else to do. But he's very sheepish and I don't know, like weirdly bashful as he tries to offer
I think
water to you.
she's before they heal her. I think she's looking at the open wounds
Yeah.
on her flesh, sort of like
Like not knowing how that happened.
Where did it even come from?
she knows where it came from, but looking at her own body, it doesn't mean the same thing that it used to. And I think it's amusing. It's ridiculous. It's absurd to her.
Uh-huh.
That she did this damage to her, to this body, and it's not even hers.
Hers.
You know, so I part of me is just like looking at it and offering it up to people, and like, don't you get the joke? Kind of, like, don't you see how ridiculous this is? She's really not relating to anyone, even silently, in a Dora-like way, or
Is she
in
saying
a human
anything?
way. No. I mean, I think part of this
Yeah.
is that you've all known this all along. It's so obvious that she's not a person. Yeah, she's not really relatable right now in the immediate aftermath of
Yeah.
Then
the reflection of her own insignificance.
Vic would probably be like, "Oh, let's can we get her healed up
Sure. So we're doing that.
and then try to see if like just make her comfortable, give her a place to sort of hang out."
Would a potion of lesser restoration do any good for you at the moment?
I mean, in the sense that it would cure some sanity damage, yes. I just want to remind you that what she said to you all before she went up the stairs, which was take care of me when I come back. One thing I think she didn't say, because Katie forgot it, but really wanted to, and that one of you would probably remember, and not really knowing what's going on with her right now, she would have said, "Don't let me infect anyone."
Right.
Now, as it happens, the nature of this madness is that is the furthest thing from her mind. But there are people on the ship who've never heard the name Jamandor, one of our healers being one of them. I think one of you would probably realize that.
Yeah.
And as a matter of pure madness coincidence, the most recent stuff we've been doing on this boat is soundproofing the book nook for reasons having to do with Vic's madness. So there actually
It's
is
currently dormant.
there's a currently we have to make a will save to see if you're fatigued. So there is a place for her to sit that has been padded out and is, like kind of sound-wise sealed off.
No one knows that the nature of this madness, in a way, precludes her from screaming out the name Jamandor, but it could.
Right, it could. Give me a will save there, Johnny.
Absolutely. That is a 25.
All right. Vic benefited from sleep.
Oh, but I still would have had the awful dreams transitioning from the dreamland back to the waking world. Or did I not?
I think on the days where you make this save, I think when you're dormant, I think you don't.
Okay.
Like when you're not dormant, you don't have no choice and you can't get rest from sleep. At this stage, I think it's like it's touch and go. Some days you feel it and then you're so disturbed that you wake up fatigued, and some days you have the experience you have, but it doesn't batter you down.
Got it.
Yeah.
So he feels okay. So thinking of Dora and what Dora likes, she likes her books. She likes kind of like being left alone to research stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to sit there and go, is there anything that she's been working on that we could kind of like put in front of her? Maybe that would be something that would interest her. Is there?
Well, that would be,
Whereas.
yeah. Both Barnabas and she have been working in their spare time on that journal, for sure.
Barnabas, you want?
Yeah, I mean, he could just sit next to her and
Oh,
work on it.
That, I think Dora's very weird with you.
Yeah, for sure.
She keeps looking at you longingly and reaching out
Oh, because
as
he's-
if to stroke you.
He's human right now,
Yes, but she knows who you were.
right? And he wonders if it is harmful or helpful if he were to
Do it.
assume fox form.
God.
Oh my God.
And I think he's so concerned that he does.
I think when she sees, I'm going to cry. I think when she sees Reynard again, tears just begin pouring down her cheeks, and she takes him
And Reynard is sick
yeah.
too.
So she
So it's like,
is caring for him.
yeah, caring for. Oh God.
Okay, so Vic sees this.
I'm not sure if this is helpful, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So Vic
yeah.
sees this and he's like, he writes on a piece of paper, Reynard is sick. Can you help him?
Is he technically? Does he have conditions?
Oh yeah, why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the day of, for sure.
I mean, do I need to make a save?
at the end of the day, but
At the end
yeah.
of the day, okay.
She
So yeah, he's a little panty. He's a little panty.
Dora summons the image in her mind of a blindfold being placed around her own eyes, and your conditions are suppressed.
So as soon as you curl up in Dora's lap, she looks down at you, and you feel right as rain. Like everything's golden.
It's only for 9 minutes, but she can cast this
Over and over again.
7 times. But she has cast her new second level spell.
There it is.
Placebo effect. She informs your mind convincingly that you're not suffering from that condition. And you feel better, and any mechanical effects are suppressed for the 9 minutes.
That is amazing.
That's very cool.
And I think I'm just going to blow all the second level spells because she would just keep
doing it.
I mean,
Yes,
I think
she
I'd
would.
blow every second, third, and fourth level spell to do that until she fell asleep. You know what I mean? Like, she'd just keep casting it over and over again.
To
While
make
you
the
were-
fox well, yes.
Yeah.
While you were doing that, Vic would also recognize that we're in about a month
Yeah.
thing, and that it's
You
time
all
to
know.
also
You all
doing
know.
heal checks to try to help, and would be also now writing things to Dora, going, this is the name sickness.
She like pushes that away. She starts to lose it a little bit. Like, I can't.
Okay.
Don't bring it up. I can't.
Okay. Okay.
She can't deal with that because if she gets cured from this, she'll be team. It's very like push and pull. This is the last vestige of herself, and the one thing maybe she can still do is protect other people from that name. But you can't push it because she's on such a razor thin edge between this Dora construct and the real thing, anathema, that if don't tempt her is
Right.
the impression that you get. Don't, because she may not be able to resist doing what Tima
and he
has been
pulls that
instructed
away,
to do.
and he writes out, "Can I help Reynard too?"
She can't let go of him.
I mean, right, but I can do this.
If you can do whatever you can do while she's holding him, but she can't let go of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can do your heal check on Barnabas while she's holding him.
All right.
And Johnny, as you're spending this time, we know Dabwick has gone up to up on the deck, and I think since the first part of this morning is everybody recovering from last night, I think a lot of the work today is just kind of getting the ship back in shape and that kind of stuff. And we'll check in with Dabs and Skywin as well. But Johnny, as Vic is spending this time down there, I think this is when Vic would process. Whatever the term greater madness means to the character in game, but you would process all of this behavior is so wildly out of character and extreme.
I rolled a natural 1.
What was your total?
It was 15, and I'm assuming +2 circumstance bonus using the healer's kit. That would be a 17, and he would spend a point of inspiration
Yeah.
to add a 6 to that. So it would be a 23.
We know the DC is 27.
He would spend an action point.
There we go. First one of 9th level! Throw them away!
And that's another 6.
All right. So Robert Barnabas will get an extra +4 when he has to make a save.
Very cool. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Let me knock that point off there.
Did you give Dora the potion of lesser restoration?
Yeah, Dabwick has 2. So I think we give one.
Only one will make a difference.
Right.
And if you would rather use a spell rather than a potion that you could use,
If we could wait until after dusk, then I
Right.
can prepare it.
it's all up to you.
Oh, you didn't have one prepared.
I don't have
you
one
got all your
prepared.
spells back from the Dreamlands.
Yeah, I didn't
it.
have lesser restoration.
Right. So
prepared.
that's something for the evening.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So instead of the potion, we'll just prepare the spell later.
Yeah.
All right, so then as Vic and Grip are getting Dora situated with Barnabas down in the book nook, the heavily blanketed book nook, Dabs would be able to find a little time with Skywin in the midst of the activities of the morning.
Excuse me, Captain. May I have a moment of your time?
But of course,
I'm afraid Dora has been taken quite ill. She encountered something in our last adventure, and she's going to be probably incapacitated for quite some time.
all right, well, if there's anything that we as the crew can provide to help, let us know. We are not far from Debril, where I was planning on taking a stop for at least the afternoon. Now, it isn't Galt, but it's far away from the capital, so much calmer, typically, if there's any sort of supplies, mundane supplies, that need to be obtained, while the group of you take care of and guard on Dora, give us a list and we can take care of that for you when we stop there that afternoon. Or maybe the morning, the rate we're going.
Are there churches and temples in town?
There are.
We might need some special healing.
We have friends in that town, so far easier to obtain supplies. This is not a full-on supply stop. Largely, it's, to be honest, we have many friends in this town. Typically about half the crew heads in, we visit friends here, pick up any small necessaries that we need. So if you have a list for us, just let us know.
We will, Captain. Thank
I
you.
expect we will be there. Rob checks the map. Oh, Rob was wrong.
We're right on top of Debril.
Tomorrow. I lost a day in all of the stuff. Yeah, we'll be there tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, in fact.
Excellent. That means that we can get her some help sooner than I thought.
All right.
Captain, another thing is once I read J. Dev's letter,
Yeah.
it occurs to me that she must have known for some time to have been so far away, and I'm confused and frustrated that she wouldn't have said something sooner, or that she wouldn't have been more direct instead of sending me on this mission. I'm wondering if when we get back to Casimir, would you join me in meeting with her and trying to get to the bottom of this?
Derek, I share your frustration. Frankly, I feel a bit used. She pushed this necessity for my own safety and the safety of my crew that I convince you to take this journey with us. And that was obviously based on a lie. Or based on, I don't even know what it was based on. What did she call it? Selfish reasons? I don't know. I share your frustration, Debwick, and yes, I will stand by your side. She owes me an answer as well, not just you.
I would like to think the best of her,
I would too.
but I do think she has to answer for some of this.
She made a very disturbing choice. And I don't know what she knows, Debwick. I don't know when she knew it. I don't know why she knew it so long ago, in fact. But yes, I will stand by your side.
Regardless, it has been right for me to be with you on this journey. I feel that.
Oh my God. She just starts bawling. I almost did for a second myself. I'm thinking about, so her night, she was probably up all night thinking to herself, what have I done to my friend? Like, even though I was used, even though I was manipulated to do this, did I just destroy my friend's life and tear them away from the most important thing in their life, which is their city,
Right.
on this crazy adventure where there's been just death and madness? So to hear you say that, I mean, she's not prone to
Emotional outburst.
yeah, excessive emotional outbursts like that, but she does that briefly and just, wants a hug. She wants a hug.
It's been a trip.
Yeah.
It's been a trip, and there's more to come. I'm glad I've been here this whole time.
The real friends were the madnesses we found along the way.
Oh my God. Okay. Just a little bit of mechanics for the day. Katie, do you think Dora is able to read journal today, or is it just sitting by her while she's stroking Fox?
I think not today.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. We know later in the day, Dabs will be able to cast a lesser restoration.
Yep.
Roll that 1d2.
You heal 2 points.
Yay, down to 52.
Only 52.
Ooh. Robert, give me Grip's sailor check for the day.
He, when he reports for duty, he makes a point of finding the captain and he goes, "Captain,
Yasila.
Grip Tusk, Selin Skywin, reporting for duty.
That's really sweet.
Oh my god. Oh, she's having an emotional day. She is having an emotional day, y'all.
I think even Stasi is a little, she'll get a little well of tear in her eye. at that.
15 on the check.
Oh, fantastic. I was not expecting to be crying this morning. All right. So, yes, she is very, very moved. Maybe, because of course Grip doesn't have the context of this conversation, maybe weirdly so. Where the heck did that come from? But that same sense of emotion that he had last night.
And his badge is prominently displayed.
He's wearing it as a badge.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Vic does not have a morning because of the Dora stuff, but Vic would have an afternoon if Vic wants to do something in the afternoon.
Vic would want to continue crafting on the Dan Bong to start to work on turning it from a +1 weapon into a +2 weapon.
Great. So while Grip is working, you can take that off his hands. It looks like it will take Vic a total of 3 days to complete this transformation from +1 to +2. So 1 day will be done. Any other prep we want to do for Barnabas making his save?
There's nothing else I can do, right?
I think you've done what you can do.
This is the only thing that can be done, right, is the heal.
Right, because remove disease is temporary enough that it won't. Yeah, right? I think we're there.
And we don't have any way to
just
boost his wisdom because we don't have a wisdom booster.
And guidance doesn't work on this.
Right, it can't be anything that is a short duration.
Yeah.
This is a what save?
This will be a fortitude save. And we know the DC 27. Okay. So then give us a limerick for the day before we start making some checks.
God, all right. Hey everybody, Stanhope Nixon here.
Yeah, we know who you are.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn.
Okay.
Okay. There once was a pair who weren't nice. They'd do anything for the right price. But the doctor's bill had to be paid, even with so many games to be played. So they got rid of him in a trice.
Oh. You're asking for it, Nixon. Damn.
Your rhyme structure was pretty solid. Your scansion is for shite, son. For absolute shite. I'm going below.
I'll be in my bunk.
All right. As night falls, let's make this check for Barnabas. It has been 30 days since the last time he saved against the seed of Jean Mandor in his mind.
So he's got an additional +4.
He's got a +4 sitting there.
So it's a +13 all day.
DC
You did say
20.
fort, right?
Yeah.
So he needs a 14 on the die or better.
Here we go.
I only missed it by 10.
Oh!
For a 17.
2 points of charisma damage.
Oh.
So this, because it's been 30 years in our real lives, Paul, one of the tools that Dabwick has to help people who take the damage is to prepare remove disease.
Yes.
And then they have to succeed at this check to try to overcome the power of the seedborne consumption. We can deal with that when we cast it. But just in your preps for tonight, I think Dabs would probably know to do maybe a couple of those.
Okay.
And then overnight, the inmost blot dreams your dreams. You are holy. And tonight you dream about death. A very specific death. Your death. And it's a very particular kind of death. You dream of either discovering or realizing that you are about to die, and then not stopping it from happening. Maybe you stop fighting something or someone, maybe you cease caring, maybe you embrace it, maybe you throw yourself at it for some reason, maybe you see meaning or purpose in it. But as the great old one in each of your brains pokes and prods and presses at all those buttons in your subconscious mind with these thin, fibrous tentacles currently digging deeper and deeper into the soft tissue inside your skull, your brain turns this prompt into story, into a dream, into a tale your character tells themselves about a death they didn't seek, but a death they do not retreat from. So, Dora, where is she at the beginning of this dream? What's going on? What's the scenario?
Dora is an amorphous being. She has no physical form. She is a madness. She is a living, conscious madness in the mind of anathema.
What does that feel like? What does she perceive?
It has been so beautiful to live this full life when she doesn't even have a form of her own. It's been so remarkable to meet Ray and Grip and Gull and Roni and Vic and Dabwick. It has been, and all the crew of the Sullen Starling and Barnabas and Stasi and Stanhope Nixon and even Neb and Ulf. It's
a gift.
What a gift it's been.
Right.
And wouldn't it be great if it could go on forever, but it's all a lie.
Gripper, where's he at the beginning of this dream? What's going on? What's the setup here for this story?
Grip is standing on the battlements of Sarnath.
Oh, buddy. Oh, as we experienced it? Like, is that all that stuff going on?
Except it is only him. There are no froggy ghosts. There's no froggy witch doctor. It's just
him and Bo Krug?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Jeez.
And the dream starts with Bo Krug, like as far away as he was when we first started hearing the roars.
Yeah.
So
you're aware, a ways away.
But he knows that is in front of him, and he knows that Dora, Dabwick, and Vic are behind him, and that they are not exposed.
Okay. What about Dabwick? What's the scenario here that Dabwick is envisioning?
Dabwick is in a stone stairwell, clutching their Darkwood staff, holding it in front of them, and that's almost all they're aware of is their body tense, every muscle tightened, holding onto the Darkwood staff in front of them and trying to advance up these stairs as water and electricity and fire and ice come raining down on them. There's no sense of vision, can't see beyond the Darkwood staff, just trying to get up the stairs.
They're stuck in Sarnath too.
Yeah.
What about Vic?
Vic is peeking in at Dora in the sort of book nook, and at this point she's still curled up with Reynard, and she's sort of fallen asleep and actually looks slightly peaceful and at rest in this moment.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I can kind of take a minute. And he steps away and he kind of pulls out his little steel mirror that he has and is all disheveled and stuff. And he sets it up and gets out his medical kit and takes one of the little scalpels and sort of starts to slowly trim his facial hair and stuff. So he's got one side of his face turned towards it and he's trimming his beard and his mustache.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And what
Suddenly
about
we're in a Saw movie.
What about Barnabas?
Barnabas dreams of Geraldine, who is someone he has not thought of in a long time, from his time in the Sentinels. And she is telling him in this dream that his time has come.
Dabwick, how do you find out or discover or realize that you are about to die?
Trying to advance up the stairs, every element seems to be taking a piece off of them. The water sloughing off parts of their flesh, fire singeing the ends of their ears, the electricity burning their fingertips, shocking their eyes. The elements are going to take them apart.
Vic, while Staring at yourself in the mirror, holding a scalpel to your face, how do you realize that you're about to die?
So he's looking in the mirror, and he's done one side of his face, and then he turns to the other, and when he does, he sees a pattern of triangles all along his cheek and underneath his eye. And as he's looking at himself and looking at those triangles, all of a sudden the person in the mirror looks directly at him and smiles.
Grip on the battlements. How does he discover or realize that he's about to die?
Well, he doesn't know what his brain does not know what Bokrug looks like because he did not go up. So it's formulating whatever.
It's creating something. Yeah.
But it's this image of Bokrug is surrounded by a sea of other beings. It's like Bokrug is this huge mountain and they're this roiling sea around him, all these different figures. And he recognizes Dr. Trice, the face of Dr. Trice, and he recognizes he knows, even though there's faces that he does not remember because there's still so much he doesn't remember, he knows these are all the people he has illy treated and killed unjustly, and he knows that they are coming for him, and that there is nowhere to run, and that he has to stand there.
And Dora, the amorphous madness of somebody else. What? How does she realize that she's about to die?
She visualizes it as a needle coming towards Anathema's eye. But she knows that what it really is, that is simply something she can hold on to, is that someone is attempting to perform psychic surgery on Anathema.
Knowing that she is about to be helped means you're about to die. I got it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Ugh. And Barnabas, I think you covered this a little bit though, but so Geraldine is telling...
She is telling him, my sweet, you know it is true. You are sweating. You are panting. You cannot hide how you feel. You know this is the end. It will come for me too.
And what's the choice that Barnabas makes?
So, in real life, this is when he ran. Thereabouts, more or less. When I think in the dream, he might be believing it is more for the greater good if I end this line of Jamandur.
Yeah.
And she's right. And Geraldine is right.
Dabwick is making their way up those stairs, being ripped to pieces. Like, what is the choice they make as they realize their death is upon them?
They realize that there's no hope. They'll never make it to the top of the stairs in time. And so they decide to drop their Darkwood staff and throw their arms open wide and receive the onslaught of elements, tearing them to pieces.
Exposed to different sorts of elements, but in a nearby location, grips on the battlements. What's the choice he makes?
He decides that if he's going to absorb what is coming to keep his friends safe, he's going to make an end that will hopefully be remembered. And in the dream, where usually in dreams, like in the Dreamlands, but he blots out his tattoos. He embraces the tattoos and calls out to Nergal to stand up to Bokrug.
Oh, wow. Jamandor with popcorn. Are these gods gonna go at each other?
Vic is looking in that mirror, holding the scalpel, sees the mirror, look back. What's the choice he makes?
He starts to kind of like frown at himself in the mirror, at this image of the Triangle Man, and you can see now that it's two different, that there's the image in the mirror and the image outside of the mirror that are no longer acting the same.
Yeah.
And you can see sort of like this frustration in his eyes. Doesn't say anything. And then he just kind of breathes out and turns his face back so that the triangles are there. And you see the hand come up and slash his throat.
All right, Dora is seeing that that metaphoric needle coming for anathema.
And she knows that anathema is struggling against it because she is insane. And she is Dora, and Dora is anathema, and anathema is struggling against the surgery because of the madness that they are trying to remove. And Dora knows, from having had possession of this spell for a while, even though she can't cast it herself, that it must be cast upon a willing creature.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you imagine that Dora as this amorphous being is like threads of light, like a tangle, like a knot that can't be undone, like in a necklace, that is woven all throughout Anathema's brain. And every time you try to untangle that knot, it just gets pulled tighter. She releases herself momentarily from Anathema's brain so that she may be willing to accept the help that is being offered to her and take that needle in the eye. And Doris imagines not the rage monster Tima that comes out when she lets her out in battle, but the girl who swept the circle free, who saw her opportunity and waited for it, took it when it came, and she gives that back to her own willingness to not be insane anymore.
And why? Why did you make that choice?
Because I'm nothing. And she is real.
Yes. She deserves this.
Yes.
I do not. Okay.
She should be given back the chance that was stolen from her when she was enslaved.
Yes.
That I have continued to steal from her all this time.
You may have answered this already, Paul, but why this choice? It was just an abject lack of hope? Is that what was driving this choice for Dabwick?
This feeling like there's no chance, there's no option, there's no other way. I can't save them. I can't help them. And it's not worth trying anymore.
I've tried enough. Yeah. To Robert for Barnabas, but so the why is about the greater good.
Yeah, I think it's the acceptance phase.
Yeah.
Feels like, yes, the Sentinels are right. All we can do is remove ourselves from the playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think acceptance. I think he hears it and just hears the truth from this other person that he trusts implicitly.
Yeah. And for the Gripper, as he stands in this moment, not knowing what Nergal, who he just revealed himself to, will do, or what Bo Krug, who's literally bearing down on him, surrounded by the souls of all the people he's either killed or harmed. Why did he make this choice?
Because it's the only way he can see to not just have it all be shite. Yeah. That he's been given glimpses into who he was before waking up in Briarstone, and none of them are good. And maybe there were justifications. Maybe he was forged in such a way that that's just how it is. But he doesn't feel like any of those are a good excuse for some of the things he knows he's done. And this is his. If he can lay himself down to help those who have helped him, then perhaps it is not. Then everything wasn't in vain, and it wasn't a mistake. He was not just a mistake.
Yeah. And Vic, why?
He's so tired. He literally hasn't slept in days, aside from the night that they went to the Dreamlands, and that doesn't, like...
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
And he's just tired. He's just tired of all of it. He's just exhausted.
That's the end of chapter 139. We'll pick this up next week. Dark Nexus is produced by Plug and Hum Productions. This podcast uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Incorporated, used under Paizo's fan content policy. This podcast is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, please visit paizo.com. That's Paizo.com. Dark Nexus uses music and soundscapes by Syrinscape. Check them out at Syrinscape.com. That's Syrinscape.com. Opening and closing themes, along with additional music composed by Rob Kauzlaric. Artwork for Dark Nexus is by Matt Wahlquist. And thanks to DMCP, Richard and Ari, Paul and Shannon, Scotty, Jason, Jess, Joe, Chelsea, Matt, Dave, Derek, Darren, Michaela, JH, the Biscuit Buddies, and everyone we've gamed with over the years for all the memories and inspiration. I can take a knowledge of what?
Is that planes?
I'll let you know in a second.
No, I want to know now.
Oh my fucking god.
Arcana, history, or planes?
Or engineering?
Religion, local,
Nature.
engineering.
Tell us what it is.
This is so helpful, you guys.